Hello everybody and welcome back to another one of those videos where I talk about updates on Dwarf Fortress coming from Toady1 and KitFox. The modding overhaul has finally begun. Over the past several months, Dwarf Fortress has been converting its raw format from the simple text files into Lua scripts for certain portions of the game. This has been sitting in the experimental branch for some time now, and recently moved into beta. Well, as of today, it's now moved out of beta and into the main branch. So what does this mean for Dwarf Fortress? Well, let's read Tarn's post first, and then I'm going to elaborate a little bit. On the Bay 12 website, Toady writes, "This version introduces Lua scripting. Right now, this affects procedural object generation, like the Forgotten Beasts, Divine Curses, Vampires and Werebeasts, and divine items such as Necromancers and their lieutenants, and experiments and evil weather, and so forth. For the last 15 years or so, all of these things have been hard-coded in Dwarf Fortress, making them inaccessible to modders. Now the algorithms and the data are available for modding. Scripting will come to encompass more hard-coded features of the game as we proceed. The relevant scripts establishing the vanilla procedural objects are in the data vanilla_procedural folders. These scripts are structured in the same way as a mod, like the rest of the data that makes up the vanilla content. So you can use it as an example for your mods. And the mod should have an init.lua file, but whether or not you organize further scripts and folders is up to you. The vanilla mod, in air quotes, has a generators folder with several scripts and a few subfolders. And underneath the pure patch notes, they state in the general update section, added Lua scripting for procedural objects, fixed a crash related to personality testing of soulless creatures during conversation, and made the Legends mode creature list searchable by species. Thank you, Tarn. You are a god. They repaired the greater than and less than brackets buttons for switching Z levels after some strange behavior. I wasn't able to bind those, so I guess that's what that was. Alright, so let's talk about this for a second. What does this mean for Dwarf Fortress as a whole? Well, first off, if you're interested in taking part in this, KitFox has released 2 tutorials on their YouTube channel, which I will link in the description of this video. They're written by a member of the community and narrated by Alexandra, the KitFox Games community manager.
Hi, my name is Alexandra from KitFox Games. In this tutorial written by DPH Kraken, we'll make a Dwarf Fortress mod using Lua. You'll learn how to add a script file, register your raws, and incorporate random generation for a custom material. These
go over the basics of 2 portions of the scripting. The first of the 2 short tutorials covers the basics of making new materials and modding using the Lua API. And the second of 2 videos is a bit more specific, focused on creating custom creatures that are randomly generated. These 2 videos have also been added to the wiki as a text guide. So if you'd simply like a searchable text instead of a video, that is also now an option. All of this documentation is going to go a very long way. Now, if you step back for a second and put yourself in my position, I'm somebody who's never been into programming or making mods myself. However, it is exciting for modding. Now, the reason for this is the old hard-coded options for modding within the raws allowed for basically more of the same. Players could add in more creatures, they could add in more plants, and using DF hack and reverse engineering, there were ways to add in extra shops, which was always kind of outside of the realm of things I was interested in. But the idea of having more variety in things like vampires, were-creatures, forgotten beasts, or intelligent procedural species is very exciting, because it means that players can now go in and create custom procedural creatures. Things like more possible body types for forgotten beasts, or more materials that they could be made out of. The idea of more procedural metals, or procedural metals having effects, is also very exciting. Right now, we do have the endgame god metals, which can be found very deep in the map, once the items that come off of the creatures that carry them are melted down. Of course, there's other ways to find these metals, such as in vaults, but right now they are identical in their properties to adamantine. This is going to allow for more additional variety there within modding, as well as the developers to make changes without changing the base raws, simply adding more scripts. Currently, I myself am very much a spectator to all of this. I'm excited by the prospect, but I don't have any ability myself to mess with these functions, at least until mods start to release. The importance of Dwarf Fortress moving from version 51.13 to now 52.01 is quite large. it points a spotlight directly at the next months of development. The game is officially more moddable than it's ever been, and Putnam has discussed the desire, alongside of Tarn in the past, to add more portions of the game to this scripting language. Elements of the game like the UI, world generation, and other hard-coded elements that are currently not moddable, without severely destabilizing the game using reverse engineering. This is opening up possibilities for future development, making the game more moddable, and at the same time, more stable, and allowing the mods to be used by less power-efficient users. People who just simply want to play the game and click download mod on the Steam Workshop without having to worry about making sure they have the right DF hack scripts running. All of this is very exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. So to those of you watching this video, do you know how to script in Lua? Are you gonna go start messing with this? Are you gonna go read the guides and maybe learn? Is this something you're just gonna sit back and watch and see what pops up on the workshop? Or are you planning on getting your feet wet and seeing what happens and what you can create? Obviously, it's going to take a while for things to get going, but this prospect has me very excited for the future, especially when we get to things like UI modding and the modability of deeper, under-the-hood systems. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you sooner than you might think.